Do you want to look at the cryptos? All right, no surprises here. I'm going to snippet this video for later on. So just a reminder, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile. Please do your own research and trade responsibly. So let's jump in with our crypto technical analysis. This is our Bitcoin futures chart on the daily. We see exactly what we've been talking about happen. We basically are still oscillating between the 200 exponential and simple. 200 exponential is acting as support at 46,875. So roughly 47,000, and then the 200 simple is acting as resistance at roughly 49,000. So we have basically at this point in time like $1,000 range between 40, what did I say, 8 and 49? No, 47 and 49. So $2,000 range. So 47 to 49,000, or arguably 47 to 50,000, depending how you're looking at it. We're just range bound right now. The 200 simple has flipped over on the futures chart for the first time bearish. The slope is bearish. The 200 exponential is basically flat right now. So literally if we close below 46,900 on the daily, Bitcoin will be in its first bear market ever on the Bitcoin futures chart since, you know, the 2017 top. So, oh no, I take it back. Technically, we did put in a slight bear market in February when I called for the capitulation move right before the Rona dump. So we had one bear market in 2017. We had another bear market right before the Rona dump. And now we're about to flash the signal, potentially, with a breakdown below 47,000 of another bear market. So there were 2 times ever in the past when you had to be worried about Bitcoin. And both of them were bear markets. And now this is the 3rd time that you should be worried about Bitcoin. And it's also lines up perfectly with the end of the 4-year cycle based on math, not imagination, and lengthening cycles and diminishing returns and squatting on rubber things until we go, oh, like all these other F boys in the market. So let's be real careful here because it looks like danger. Looks like big time danger to me. Bitcoin spot market, Bitstamp, basically same chart, but the 200 exponential is above the 200 simple. But again, the support on the 200 simple is 46.8, so 47,000. The resistance on the 200 exponential is 50,000. So again, same exact defined range playing out. This thing tried to push up over the weekend, popped off of the 200 simple, got rejected off the 200 exponential. 200 exponential has already flipped over bearish. 200 simple is still bullish technically, but basically flat. This did give us a slight false signal, basically right here for a bear market. But again, if we just look back, when did we go into a bear market on this thing? Well, we went into one in November 2019, continued that bear market into the dump, the Rona dump right here. Went into that same bear market, basically in, at the top 2017, 2018, that lasted for years. Went into a bear market before that. Obviously, we have more time on this one, but the one before that was like 2014, which was the 2013 top. So every time we see bear market, multi-year bear market, 4-year cycle ends. Multi-year bear market, 4-year cycle ends. Mini bear market, Rona dump. So does it look like this is the 4-year cycle ending and potential of a, multi-year bear market about to happen and loss of value roughly 85%? Does it look like our 5-wave Elliott wave structure is playing out perfectly, exactly as discussed? Does it look like we're seeing the expanding flat ABC correction pattern? We have 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and now we expect 5 waves to the downside. Does it look like exactly what we predicted is playing out right now? Does it look exactly like it's going to do what we've been talking about for months and months and months? Sure looks like it to me. Does it have to happen? Nope. No, it does not have to happen. But when we broke down from this blue support right here, broke down and couldn't get back to reclaim it, and now we're just hanging around. We're just hanging around on the 200 exponential and simple. Does that tell me that we're probably headed further to the downside to sweep the lows? And the second that we take out 40,696 or like 41,000, it's going to look real bad. And then we're probably going to go to 30,000. And then all of a sudden, Michael Saylor and his $6 billion Bitcoin position are going to be dead even and then potentially underwater again. Better be careful. 6 billion, that's a scary number. 6 billion in Michael Saylor is scary. So he owns $6 billion worth of Bitcoin, and in the 2000 crash of MicroStrategy and the dot-com bubble, he lost $6 billion in a single day. So does he lose the private keys to this $6 billion? I don't know, but I'd be afraid, man. If there's one guy I wouldn't trust with $6 billion, it's Michael Saylor. He's like, I did lose that other $6 billion again. I mean, but in his defense, though, not a lot of people have lost $6 billion in a single day. So he could set a record here, but not a good record. Looks bad. Bitcoin looks bad. As long as we're above the 200 simple, though, it looks okay. As long as we're below the 200 exponential, it looks bad. And we're just range bound. So until we break through one of those ranges in one direction or the other, I'm basically neutral. We are well below the 821. We had the 821 cross here. Once again, 63,000. No surprise here, guys. No surprise here. Once again, the bearish divergence plays out, the 821 cross the downside, and then we come back to revisit, reversion to the mean, 200 exponential and simple. So no surprises. I mean, it's literally doing exactly what we've expected. This Bitcoin market, crypto market, is literally trading so technically, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, this thing is like a little puppet on our strings dancing around like our bitch. And I suspect it's going to keep doing that. So crypto is our bitch. Ethereum looks a little less technical at support currently. We did get the wick down on Kraken, exactly the 200 exponential. Did not see the same wick happen on most of the other exchanges. We did have a support level right here, a higher low right here, a higher low right here, and then we took out that low right here. So now we have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high, we have a lower low. Ethereum is technically in a downtrend right now. Much further away from a bear market, as we see very clearly. Depending how you want to draw this, it's not nearly as technical, but this looks like basically a failed breakout to the upside. You could arguably draw it something like that. Maybe that looks a little better. I mean, it really just depends how you're looking at it. If we're going from like closes on the top here and then closes on the bottom here, I think that's probably the way to go. Again, Kraken's so volatile and like lacks liquidity. So sometimes the chart's not as good to chart on, but that's basically what I'm looking at. It's much stronger looking than Bitcoin and pretty much any other cryptos right now, but does not look great. Break of 4,000 is not good. We're at support right now. If we break down from this level, though, we probably come down and do revisit 200 exponential and simple. And this is in a confirmed downtrend, at least short term, but still very much in a bull market on the daily. So got to be real careful with this one. ETH Bitcoin chart basically was able to take out our cycle high right here and then sold back off. We're at support. We're at the cycle high from back in May. So this level holds. Ethereum probably gains against Bitcoin. If this level breaks, it's going to look real toppy. And we really got to see like 0.0786 or 0.075 hold. Or this is going to break back down to the range. But we do see a very clear bearish divergence signal. Sell by sell in the bullish control zone at the top of the range. Multiple green, red histogram, sorry. Yeah, this thing probably does roll over. Doesn't look good. Ethereum's probably going to get crushed here in a minute and revisit 200 exponential and simple. Total market cap still looks like trash on the weekly. We officially broke down and closed below the 21. We have now closed at the 21. Opened and closed again at the 21, and then opened, and now we're well below the 21. So unless this thing rallies back up above 2.27 trillion by the end of this week, this is going to look terrible. Hard sell signal at the top of the range, hard sell signal at the previous top of the range, bearish divergence between the top back in May and the top that we just put in here in November between both of our indicator oscillators. So we see the TJD, TDMACD with a high here, a lower high here. We see the Jewel Thief stochastics with a high here and a high here on price action, a high here and lower high here on the indicator. So again, we're seeing bearish divergence taking place at key levels, the 1.618 Fibonacci extension, which was obviously our target for the upside, as predicted and played out perfectly. Bearish divergence playing out perfectly. Crypto looks like trash right now. It looks like absolute trash right now. So, but that's based on technicals, okay? I mean, you're like, but NFTs and the coins named after dogs, you just don't understand. Sure, I don't. You're right. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why crypto is such a trash bag market. And it used to have so much potential, and now it is a bunch of trash with a bunch of other trash built on top of it and a bunch of rampant speculation. And the trashier something is, the better it does. So crypto probably just goes to the moon. Whatever the trashiest thing is, I'll probably just buy that because that's probably going to perform the best in a trash bag market. And keep in mind, this is from someone who absolutely loves crypto and believes in the future of crypto and blockchain. But right now, this is the trashiest it's ever been. This is worse than how trashy it was in 2017 by like 100-fold. It's 100 times more trashier than it was before. It was just kind of like doing some sex work on the side, and now it is a full-on trash bag, street wandering prostitute. So yeah, that's how I really feel without holding back. Maybe worse than that, and I've kind of toned it down for the tube. Bitcoin dominance looks like it wants to put in a third drive of bullish divergence. So, yeah, honestly, I think it's going to take out this low right here. I would expect it below 40%. We see a weekly close below 40%. That's going to give us 1, 2, 3 drives of bullish divergence. 1, 2, 3 drives, and then it probably does burst to the upside. The 200 simple is flattening out while we're well below it. So that tells you something's going on here. That the 200 simple moving average now has a positive slope. 200 exponential is much more responsive. So it is actually like still moving to the downside, but this is literally the first time ever since inception of Bitcoin, in its, basically 11, 12 years of existence, that it will now be potentially going back into a bull trend or uptrend after continually losing value. So what does this tell me? It tells me all these trash bag coins are probably going to go away soon. What does that line up with? Well, maybe they get marked as securities. Maybe they get sued by the SEC. Maybe Gary Gensler wakes up and goes after somebody and actually does his fucking job. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's probably going to be something. And it probably is going to be some fundamental event where all of a sudden all these trash bag cryptos get arrested or get massive fines and go away. And then there's actual regulations in place to where you can't just like pyramid, Ponzi scheme, rip people off for like millions or billions of dollars. But, what do I know? I'm just looking at like the technicals and lining up some fundamentals. So probably does go back to like 60%. If it gets back above that level, goes into a bull trend, that's probably really good for Bitcoin. Fibonacci. So we hit our target at the 382 to the downside. Still very much in a downtrend. Looks bad. It needs to reclaim the 821, and it's not doing that. It's very clearly in a downtrend, just putting in a series of lower highs and lower lows. Looks terrible. Solana came back down to the bottom of our little channel right here. Trying to find some support. Honestly, buy support, sell resistance. That's my opinion on this. This thing probably does get down here slightly lower, and I would be looking for a scalp off of the 618. Because it's probably going to bounce the 618 right here around roughly $156. And then when it does, it's probably going to retest the 0.5 and heartline of the channel, which is basically like where we started today at. And then honestly, somewhere around like 172, it probably pushes back up to the 382. That was the key area we broke down from. We didn't really retest it as resistance. So 190. So assuming Bitcoin doesn't like sell off and can like kind of stay strong here, it looks like Solana scalp play is probably going to be that like 20% move, which is really not that much. 157 to like 190. There's probably a scalp in there. So we'll see. We'll see if it gets there. I'll throw a little trade setup in play, but obviously we got to get to the bottom before we can get to the top. But I'd be looking at something like, easily could get like a 4 plus, around 4x risk reward ratio. So there's definitely a play to be had there if and when we get there. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I've been talking about how overvalued this was for a while, so it's no surprise. Avalanche, this thing has been getting wrecked since 150. It's down 50% off the high now. Man, this looks like such trash. Is it bottoming though? Maybe. Really got to be patient with this one. I tried a little scalp, and we'll see how that plays out. But basically hit the 618 perfectly, reclaim the 0.5, but it needs to get above the 821. So maybe it moves back up to 100, but I'm definitely out like trout on that. That's like a little over 10% move, maybe 12% move to the upside. Could easily come back down here and revisit the lows. If we get a close below $80.64, it's going to look terrible. Again, we probably have some kind of like channel action going on here. I'm not sure how this one's going to look better. I think this one looked better off the wicks. And when I say better, I'm not like, it looks better to me if I draw it this way, and that's what I want to see. I'm talking about like, it just looks like technically like it makes more sense. Yeah, I mean, this one could go either way. Man, I really don't like how this looks at all. Let's just draw a couple random lines and see if we can get something a little clearer on this one. So if we go from the top right there and just kind of extrapolate that out, and then we go from our bottom right here, we probably have a little something more like this going on. A little bit of that descending, broadening wedge pattern playing out. So that's what I'm paying attention to. Maybe we come down to the 786. Maybe we find support at the 618, front run it slightly. But if we take out this low here at 80.50, it's going to look sketch. Right now we're hanging on to the support, so I'm looking for that move back up to the 382. But it's going to be real tough to get above 100, and I think we're probably going to come down to like 64 before we get over 100 on like any longer time frame. Yeah, but it already tagged the 618. Maybe it's done retracing and this thing's going back up, but we really got to wait and see. But this is a perfect pivot in my opinion. The 0.5 coming out of the bearish control zone, couple green histograms in a row on the daily. So I'm not mad I'm in this one, but I don't love it either. Could go either way. It's coin toss. XRP, terrible bear market. Straight up trash, a high, a low, a lower high, probably come back down here to put in a lower low eventually. Maybe it flags out. Still has not put in a new all-time high after this cycle has basically played out 4 years later. The cult is dying. They're going to other cults. This looks terrible. This looks so terrible. Even within the macro downtrend that we're putting in right here, we have like another downtrend forming. Let me just, let's just clear this chart. There's too much garbage on here. Even like right here, we have basically this high right here, and then we have another lower high right there. And then we have a low right here and another lower low right here. So, arguably we're putting in some kind of like descending channel once again. And then that's all taking place inside of like a larger pattern, which probably is going to line up pretty good. Yeah, so we're basically like putting in a descending channel inside of like some form of wedge or flag or something like that. So the real question is, when we do come down here and try to revisit these lows, what's going to happen? Are we going to form something like this? Are we going to come down here and it turns into like a descending triangle? We really don't know. Could this be the low right now? Sure. Could you have set it right here and then the breakdown and then it fails and then we come back down to revisit the lows? I would say that's probably more realistic. So this looks bad. Arguably maybe going to act as support, but we're below 200 exponential and simple. There's no trade here really to be had. XRP looks terrible. Yeah, I mean, we have like sort of a double, like 2 tags of a support line right there. So maybe that's the level we're going to pay attention to. But again, that's a bearish pattern. That's like a descending triangle playing out. So we do not want to see this break and come down here and revisit like 51 cents. It looks terrible. And I'm not just saying that because I'm mean. Chain link, again, just looks absolutely terrible. I mean, it basically like double topped after its all-time high. And it is very much in a bear market, 200 exponential and simple, angle to the downside. Hard buy signal, got a little reaction rally, and then just dump back down, put in a new low. Looks terrible. Man, yeah, Chainlink looks horrible. Matic, so we're able to just absolutely crush these Matic trades, and we're almost back down to our target once again. So looking for support around like that 1.86 level, something like that. Man, am I going to keep just abusing Matic? Am I going to keep just dominating Matic against its will and just taking it for everything it's worth? Yeah, I probably am. Probably am going to just keep violating Matic left and right every chance I get with no remorse. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if it gets there. Looking for some kind of entry like this, basically. Similar to this, looking for some kind of entry around like that $1.80 or something like that. But if this thing breaks, I want to get the hell out of this quick because it's probably going to like a $1.50, and the measure move of the breakdown of this ascending wedge is like probably somewhere around like $1.12. Hard sell signal, top of the range. Do we have a little bit of bearish divergence here? Same high, higher high on price action, so some bearish divergence. Let's look at our stochastics. Slightly higher high here, so no, not really. I really want to see this 618 hold. So that's probably where I'm looking for an entry. I'm probably looking for an entry right around here at like a buck, between a $1.65 and a $1.85. Somewhere around there, I'm looking for an entry on this thing. But it's going to look super sketch if it breaks down from this level. So I'm going to be real cautious on this thing right around where I'd be looking to enter it. Especially like with these Kraken wicks coming in. Because it could look like it's about to break down massively and then gets bought completely up. But then after that, we get some beautiful, like another just absolute dominating scalp of like another 50%, which we will 100% take full advantage of. Yeah. So Matic, it's trading very technically. Can't be mad at that. Has been forever. Matic has been crushing. Polkadot, slightly reclaiming the 200 simple. 200 expo has rolled over to the downside. 382 acting as resistance. Man, this thing, it's like at resistance on multiple levels here too. Is that drawn slightly wrong? Should it be a little bit more like that? Maybe it should be more like that. Looks terrible. It looks like this thing just wants to roll over and confirm a bear market. And this one has not run into a bear market yet, but looks very likely. Crypto looks like it wants to do a big move, and it wants it to be the upside, but it's probably going to be the downside, honestly. Like the altcoins look like they want to burst to the upside, but Bitcoin is like looking super sketch right now. And you know the alts are going to do what Biddy does. BAT, basic attention token. Again, I'm still at a 0 BAT position right now. We're kind of at support. Could this have further downside? This looks bad. I don't like that it retested this level multiple times and it's basically back at the entry on that. This trade setup played out beautifully. We've done really well on this. This looks like that 5-wave structure is done, but we did have one time here where we hit the high, came back down, and then technically closed like a higher high and then went to new highs. So do we get up to like that $2 mark? Because that was my initial target, and then I got out of this at like a $1.80. Kind of jumped the gun. I mean, I'm glad I did. Oh, man, I got to be real careful with this. We'll see what happens. This is a no-go for me right now. I would love to get it at like 90 cents off the 200 exponential on simple for like a lower high reaction rally, but I'm not jumping in it now. Uniswap looks terrible. Bear market, revisiting the lows right now. This is like a giant descending triangle. Oh, I must have deleted this chart. This is like really bad right now. Looks like a giant descending triangle. We have the high right here. You know, arguably, depending on how you want to go with it, we'll go with the close right here. And then again, we'll go with the close right here for our high. And then again, we got, basically down here revisiting the lows. This is a giant descending triangle. And when this thing breaks, Uniswap has so far to fall. So far to fall. Is it going to come back down here to $4? Maybe. It'd be a stair step on the way down, but, the next, like, real support, if it breaks down from this level, is like $9.30. And then after that, it's like $6.50. And then after that, it's like $4.12. This thing looks terrible right now. Let's put a fib in here. And remember, I think 269 was the entry on this, and then again at like 420. 420. 382 fib retracement right here. The 0.5 is that level we talked about, $9. This is trading so freaking technically, it's like sickening. The only one that doesn't line up perfectly is like the 786. So we'll see what happens. This is probably going way lower. It looks bad. Maybe it gets a bounce back up to 236 before then, but that's like a 33% move, but there's so much risk to the downside here. Cardano in a bear market, absolute trash. I'll be nice to Charles today. Charles has cool things in his office when he cries on live streams. There, I did it. I was nice to Charles. So let's get out of here before I say something mean about him. Bear market on cardinal beads, and they smell funny. You should probably wash them off. MicroStrategy looks like trash. Broke down from the ascending triangle. Broke down from our key support level at 615. Is now at 600, and it is going to fast track its trashy ass down to 469. That is our first target to downside. Can Michael Saylor lose $6 billion in a single day? It's going to be easier this time because the market doesn't actually have to completely crash like it did in 2000. He could literally just be like, I lost the hard drive. I forgot my seed phrase and lost your guys' $6 billion. Oops. So it's actually more likely he loses $6 billion in a single day now. But yeah, 382 target of 473 looks likely. After that, the 0.5 end measure move at 337. So yeah, get ready. Get ready to get cut in half once again, Michael Saylor. And not by a magician. I'm talking about the price of your stonkaroonie. Hood looks terrible. New all-time low. I told you this is probably going to be in the teens real soon. I'm hanging tight for 1879. Unfortunately, I'm the proud owner of some Robinhood. But look, we can't all be winners. I do dumb things sometimes too. And in this case, my dumb thing was not liquidating this position when I knew I should have. So we'll see what's up. I might take a stab at it at the 1.618. Does it look like it wants a bottom right now? No, it looks like it wants to go straight to zero. It looks like it's going to zero. Coinbase. So yeah, we got literally the move to downside. Beautiful short position. Obviously, I did not take it, but laid it out here for you guys. Got a nice little bounce back up. This is exactly what I said too. This is people shorting it. This is people taking profits on their short at a key fib level. This is the take profit. You know, what happens when you take profits on a short? You buy to close your position. This is the reaction rally, the dead cat bounce, close the short positions, and now here we are probably completing the remainder of the move. Because this is people front running the target like by a couple bucks. Because the target was like 237, and you know, what did we say? Take profits somewhere around like 272 or 246 to front run that, and that's exactly what happened. Well, you didn't even have to take profits right here because it just blew straight through. But yeah, this probably goes lower. Hard buy signal coming out of the bearish control zone now, but then this big bearish candles right afterwards. This probably goes lower. Man, we'll see what happens. We have a clear ascending broadening wedge right here, but there is a high likelihood, in my opinion, that this thing is going to break down to new all-time lows. I would not be surprised if you came to me in like a month or two and said, Coinbase is trading below $200. Are you surprised? My answer to you would be, fuck no. Bed Bath & Beyond looks like absolute trash. Obviously beautiful, like 60+% move to the upside. I think it was closer to like 70. Reversion to the mean, one of my favorite plays to the upside and to the downside. Rejection, bear market. This thing going straight to zero. Bed Bath & Beyond is trash. Newegg, same thing exactly, like reversion to the mean play or reversion to resistance. Beautiful play to the upside, 50%, and straight back down to new lows. If this thing bottoms out and puts in a new like higher low, there's probably a scalp in play back up to like 20, but this thing's trash. Total meme stock trash. Speaking of meme stock trash, AMC, absolute garbage. New daily close on AMC, $27. Trash. You had a million chances to get out of this piece of total trash. And now here we are getting ready to go into a bear market. AMC is complete garbage, total trash, complete meltdown. AMC will be in the teens soon. I hope that you were smart or wise or listened to me or your mom or whoever else told you to take profits on your AMC, because it is about to AMC your ass at zero because it is trash. But we do still have our initial target down here at about like 18, 19. And then the 0.5 retracement at like 11 or 12. You know, keep in mind that the few people that actually bought this on the way up are heavily outweighed by all the people that bought it here expecting it to go to new highs. So you are very much outnumbered. And there's like 10% of the people bought it and are in profit right now. The other 90% of the people are like underwater now. So there's a lot of headwinds on AMC. It's definitely trash. GameStop looks slightly better as it is still putting in higher lows technically, but it's very close to violating that. So, and again, 200 exponential has rolled over to the downside. It does have this resistance acting as support currently, but got to be real careful with GameStop. Real careful with this thing. If this thing breaks down, it's going to break down aggressively. It does not look good. Does not look good. I think like 67 bucks. God, that's like a 60% downside risk. I mean, does it bottom right here and move back to the upside? Maybe. But if not, it probably just gaps down and just kicks you right in your teeth. It's a decently bullish candle, but yeah, this is a no-fly zone for me. I mean, not that I would ever mess with it anyway, but. And then finally, DraftKings. So DraftKings did exactly what we said. Came down here, put in a new low. Absolute trash. Total garbage. Bounced our blue support right here. Hit the 1.618 perfectly. But look, let's be real. You know, DraftKings going to 1850. Maybe it gets a little bounce until then. But if it doesn't reclaim the 35 level to try to like do a little reversion of the mean play, does it now though? Does it bottom right here and bounce? No divergence. Is there divergence on the stochastics? Is there a little little bullish divergence? No, it's not. Nope, trash. If this area holds right here, it probably does get a nice little bounce back to the upside, but I don't like how poorly that performed. So my bias is definitely to the downside. I think DraftKings goes to like $18.50. You're about to be a teenager again. You're Benjamin Buttoning. You're going from higher to lower. Not in age, though, in dollars. All right, that's it for our cryptos and crypto-related stockeroonies. Appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. I do stream every single Wednesday and Sunday from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till typically about like 2 hours roughly, sometimes closer to 3. Every once in a while I cut it short an hour. If you'd like to make any particular asset or topic request, please do so in the comment section, or you can shoot me a message or whatever, or obviously group members, you know how to get at me. But that's it for today. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream.